Hey, little red devils, Miss Chris here, in my kitchen, and I am going to teach you to make something. I think on those activity boards that I posted make something in the kitchen, and I ran out of taco seasoning, and so I'm going to teach you how to make my taco seasoning. I don't buy my taco seasoning in the grocery store. I actually make it with spices that I buy, and for two reasons. One, I don't want all of the additives in it that it has. Two is I can't have some of the additives that are in there. So I don't want to pay $2 for a package of taco seasoning that I can eat. So I just found my own recipe and kind of tweaked it here and there. But this is my taco seasoning that I have come up with. And I've taken like 4 recipes and I've combined them together, and this is what I came up with. So I will share that recipe with you, and I'm going to teach you how I make it. The recipe on the front is for just like one batch, but I actually make 4 at the same time. So yeah, you're going to learn how to make my taco seasoning. So I hope you enjoy and you make your own taco seasoning because it's awesome. Okay, guys, I am here to make taco seasoning. So this is what I keep it in, and I've just put a label on the front of it. I probably need to put a piece of tape over that label because it's faded and I need to redo it again. But this tells me what one batch is, and really, we go through one batch in a week. So I make 4 batches, so I'm good for at least a month with it. Sometimes I use more and sometimes I use less depending on what I'm making. I will put it in, I'll put chicken in the crock pot and I'll sprinkle some of this on it, and then I can make chicken tacos. Obviously you make tacos, you make, I put it in taco soup. I've sprinkled it on, I've made tater tot casserole with it before. It's really, really good. You just take your meat and you add your taco seasoning and you put it in like you would and instead of like a can of cream of mushroom, I put a can of tomato sauce. And then I put Mexican style cheese over it, and then I put the tater tots and I bake it. It's really, really good. So it's pretty versatile. So you can use it for a lot of things. So what you need is chili powder. I do buy most of my seasonings at Sam's in bulk because I use so much seasoning. Most people have like a little cabinet like this for their seasoning, but I have a cabinet like this for my seasoning because I cook so much. So those are all my spices and everything that I cook with. So I do like to cook. I don't do it as often as I would like to, but I still do cook. It is one of my favorite things to do. So I have chili powder. And then I have cumin, which I had to go get some from the store because I didn't realize I was out of it. I do not buy this in bulk because this is the only thing I use cumin in. And then I have a chili recipe that I use cumin in. So those are the only 2 things I use cumin for. So I don't buy that in bulk because I don't want a big one. Then I have sea salt, which I bought the wrong kind. I bought coarse, so when I went to the grocery store a while ago, I had to pick up the right kind, which is this right here. I use sea salt. It's just like your regular, but it's sea salt. And then I had to go back to the grocery store a second time because I thought I had garlic powder in a big container. But I don't. It's in my list at Sam's. So, garlic powder. I use oregano. I don't know if I have enough oregano, but if I don't, I will add what I have, and I will get some more at the store and add to it when I get back. I'll just put a little note about how much more I need. But that is the beauty of this, is you can modify it if you like it a little spicier. You can add some cayenne powder to it to make it a little bit spicier. We don't like it too spicy, so I don't use cayenne pepper in it. Then black pepper, paprika, and crushed red pepper flakes. Most of these I also have in smaller containers because these are on my top cabinet, and I never in a million years thought I would live in a house that my cabinets were tall, that I would need a step stool for. But I have to have a step stool for my tall cabinets because I can't reach the top cabinet. So when we built this kitchen, that was something that we wanted. We wanted a lot of cabinet space, so it would be functional. So I can't reach the top shelf, so I keep these on the top shelf, and then I keep smaller ones in the bottom. But so that is what you need. And I also add onion powder. I don't add a lot because when I cook my meat, I use either fresh onions and garlic, and I salt the meat, or I use I put the minced onions in it. So I usually don't put a whole lot of onion powder in it, but just a little bit, and I just kind of gauge it. But that's what you need for this. And so what I'm going to do is I have 3/4 cup chili powder. Okay, so I'm going to take my chili powder, and I have 3/4 cup. And I'm going to do this 4 times. And I'm not precise. I don't make it all perfect. I just kind of add here, there, and it'll end up all the same at the end of the day. So there's 1, 2, I think I'm just going to do 3. Can anybody tell me if I have 3/4 of a cup and I do that 3 times, how much I have? I would have 2 1/4 cups of chili powder. Okay. Like I said, I kind of eyeball it. So I have this times 3. Where'd my lid go? Okay, so then I have 6 tablespoons of cumin. It is so new, I haven't even taken the lid off. Okay. So since I don't have a big container, I'm actually going to pour this in a smaller container so it's easier to measure. So I have 6 tablespoons of cumin. So 1, 2, I think that's 6 teaspoons. I think I wrote that down wrong because I remember that. So I'm going to do 1 more and just do 1 tablespoon of cumin, because if not, the cumin's going to overpower it. So that's 3 tablespoons of cumin total. I have 4 tablespoons of sea salt, which is so new I have not opened it either, because I thought I had sea salt too, and I did not. So I actually, like I said, I had to make 2 trips to the grocery store. So I'm going to measure. One, 2, 3, 4. Now, if I'm going to do this 3 times, how many tablespoons do I need? A little bit of multiplication in there. I'm going to need 12. So here's 5, 6, 7. Trouble with sea salt is it kind of sticks together. Was I on 5? I hope I was on 5. If not, it'll just be a little bit salty. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. I don't worry too much about the salt that I get in there if I don't get enough, because I do salt my meat, and if it's not salty enough, I sprinkle a little bit in there. I also use coarse sea salt a lot, and I just like the coarser. I use kosher salt also all the time. It's about the only salt I use is the coarse kosher salt. So I usually don't use any other types of salt. So garlic powder. I need 6 teaspoons of garlic powder. So if I have 6 teaspoons and I'm making 3 I'm tripling this batch. How many am I gonna need? 6 teaspoons. I'm gonna need 18 teaspoons. My 9. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and just because we like a lot of garlic, I'm going to put a little bit more in it. And see, it used about half of that. I should probably go in and measure up like how many cups. It would be easier to measure out, but I just have never done that. It's when I make a batch, I just triple it or double it or whatever. So oregano, I need 6 teaspoons of oregano. So how many teaspoons of oregano am I going to need? 18, because I'm tripling it. I don't think I'm going to have enough oregano, so this batch will just not have as much in it. And I'll keep track of what I need, and then I'll just get some oregano at the store later. So I'm going to do 18 teaspoons of oregano. And this, yeah, it's just oregano. It's not any special kind. Ended up with about 13, so I need to add 5 more teaspoons of oregano. So don't let me forget that. Got some chili powder sticking to the bottom of that. Okay, so I need 4 tablespoons of black pepper. So if I'm tripling this batch, how many do I need? I need 12. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna sneeze. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Pepper makes me cough and sneeze, I'm sorry. I can't get my lid back on. Because this belongs to the oregano. And this belongs to the black pepper. Okay, so now I need 6 teaspoons of paprika, which that would be 18 teaspoons. Once again, I need to, paprika makes me sneeze and cough too. And 6. 9, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. I don't heap the paprika like I do some of the others, just because we don't like it as hot, or I like it spicy, but a couple of my family members don't, so I put a little bit of paprika extra in mine when I'm cooking it. So now I need 3 teaspoons of red pepper flakes. The original recipe that I had called for more of these, but my family does not like the spicy, so I have downed that down a little bit. So 3 teaspoons times 3 is 9. So there's 1, 2, 3, 8, and 9. Okay, now the garlic powder. Sorry, not the garlic powder. I've already added garlic powder. The onion powder. I have a little bit in here already. I had just a little bit, and that was one of the things that I thought I had, and I had to go back to the store for. So I just kind of add maybe, for this, I would probably do 3 tablespoons. And I wouldn't heap them. Actually, I'm just going to do about 2.5. Just because I do use the onion when I cook my meat, and I cook with onions. So that is basically, that's all I have left. So now I'm going to grab this guy here, which is called a whisk. And I am going to just go like this. I've put it in my stand-up mixer before, and I've mixed it with that. But I just have found that it's just as easy, and I don't have to dirty up another bowl to do this. I actually have a bigger bowl that I use because I want to get this all mixed together. And another thing that you can do is this here. This is probably the easiest way to do it. You can take a Ziploc bag, if I was thinking, I would have been putting everything in the Ziploc bag already. Okay. And then I just zip it up. And I can mix it up. And there you have it. Taco seasoning with no preservatives and none of that extra stuff, extra spices. Like I said, the reason I started doing this was because I have some food sensitivities that I can't have a lot of gluten in my diet, and taco seasoning at the grocery store does have gluten in it. Most of them have gluten in it, and the ones that don't are like $1.50, $2 for a package. And to feed my family, I need at least 2 packages, so I came up with a much less expensive way to make my taco seasoning. It does not thicken when you cook it, so like you wouldn't, I do add water, but to thicken it I use arrowroot. I've not ever added the arrowroot to the seasoning because I use the seasoning for so many other things that I'm not going to, sorry, let me move my camera just a little bit. So, I don't necessarily want the thickening in all of it, so I just want the seasoning. So, whenever I make tacos, or Frito chili pies, or whatever, which is a favorite in this house. They hear Frito chili pies and they come running. But you can thicken it with the arrowroot, or you can thicken it with a little bit of flour. It doesn't matter. Cornstarch, any thickening agent you can use. I just choose the arrowroot because that's what I like. So there you have it. Taco seasoning. All fresh. And this is what it looks like when it is done. It smells really good. Have to try it sometime. Bye guys. I miss you.